Do you know what a big difference is between the UK and the USA? Milkshakes. Here, I have a milkshake in America. Okay? In England, a milkshake is just flavored milk. So there's no ice cream. There's no ice cream. It's no thick. It's thin. It's watery. And it's just flavored milk. You get a strawberry milkshake in the UK and it tastes like milk with strawberry. But you get a strawberry milkshake in the US of A, and that's a thick, ice creamy goodness, my friend. That is a thick, nice, cold milkshake. And I love milkshakes in the US of A. They just don't do it like we do it. You know what I mean? I can't keep a straight face. I'm sorry, milkshakes in the US are really good. Milkshakes in the UK are pretty fucking shit. Yeah. But thanks.
Things that don't make sense to me about America. Number one, you have to pay to have a child. You genuinely have to pay about 20 odd grand just to have birth. What if you're having twins or triplets? Does it actually triple the price? Along with that, I think you have to pay for, like, if you go in an ambulance, like a lot as well. I'm so sorry that I fell out of a tree and broke my limbs. Number two, the cheerleaders that you see in, like, films are actually a real thing. The films don't exaggerate about high school. That is crazy to me. Number three, free drink refills, like soda, what they call it, refills. I didn't actually know this. Like, you're telling me I can go and get a Coke refill when it wouldn't cost me £4. Number four, like the school system. There's like 7 levels: prep, kindergarten, sophomore. We just have reception, primary and secondary. Number five, GCSEs just aren't a thing. I don't know if it's like, is it a diploma? But GCSEs aren't a thing. They mean life to us over here. How do you get a job? How do you get into college? I don't even know what college is over there. Number six, tax isn't like in the labels. So when you go and buy something, you don't actually know the real price of it until you scan it. What happens if you're budget shopping? It's just confusing for no reason. All you have to do is write the extra money in the tag. Number five, Halloween is like a massive thing. It's like Christmas. Everyone decorates their houses. I think it's quite cool. But it is extreme levels of effort going into these houses. Over here, it's just maybe a little pumpkin outside with a candle. No massive Frankensteins. But God, how much money do you guys have? You're spending 20 grand on a kid per child. You're paying if you injure yourself, and you're paying for like $1,000 decorations. Number eight, yearbooks are actually a thing every single year. I'm jealous. I want a yearbook. I want to put a quote in a book. I think that's all.
Most Americans are under the impression we started Apple Pay because we started Apple. And no, we are so fucking far behind the world on all forms of digital payments. Like when they talk about bank transfers, they are talking about like they basically have PayPal directly from their bank accounts. But you can have different banks. And it's automatically built into their banking system that you can send money between any bank, no matter what bank you go to. I went to the UK a decade ago, and they couldn't even use my US cards because it didn't have a chip in it yet. And I wasn't using like Google Pay yet, but I downloaded it. Everybody there was using Tap to Pay for a long time. Even the mom and pop shops didn't have swipe machines anymore. They all looked at me like I stepped out of 1982, right? And then I came back and started using Google Pay because I was used to it and it was convenient. And all the stores here, most people, I was the first one they had ever seen do it. They would tell me, that's not going to work on our machine. We don't have that. And I'm like, oh, it works everywhere. And then they would just be like blew their fucking mind. They had never seen that shit before. So yeah, we are way behind the rest of the world on all digital payments. It's actually humiliating.
This is how much it costs to give birth in the UK. And this is how much it costs to give birth in the US. You think that's bad? You've broken your arm. You call an ambulance in the UK, it's £0. You call an ambulance in the US, that is $1,200. And then you need an x-ray in the UK, it's £0. And then you need the same x-ray in the US, $400, plus you need to pay the ER $2,000. Then you need to put a cast on your broken arm, it's £0 in the UK. You need to put the same cast on a US person, $500. In the UK, if you die in hospital, you don't have to pay anything. Your family members, they don't have to pay anything. In the US, if you die in hospital, family members, they will have to pay out of your estate for all the hospital bills that you occurred. Is it just me, or is it absolutely ludicrous that an American can go into debt because of hospital bills. I think it's something like 40% of Americans are in debt because of their hospital bills for something they can't even control. It's out of their control. Seems a little bit crazy to me.
For those of you wey don dey ask me wetin be the difference between the UK and the US, now this video I go explain that difference now, so pay attention so that you go stop this argument of which one better pass which one, US better pass UK, UK better pass US. In the terms of language, both the UK and the US they speak English, but for you wey be African like me, if you come to the US you go understand their English pass if you go UK. That is in terms of language. So it's easier for you to understand the US English than for you to understand the UK English. That's one. Two, in terms of healthcare, the UK is better than the US. Now, for the UK, they get at least free medical care. But in the US, they pay for medical care. In fact, make I now shock you now. Ordinary ambulance for US here, for you to enter, maybe they fall sick, you can't say they carry ambulance from carry you, is not less than $1,000. Ambulance alone. Then if maybe this thing can't be critical, they need to evacuate you immediately, they can't use helicopter ambulance. Now from like $2,000 to $3,000, now you could pay for ambulance alone. But meanwhile the UK, all those things that are as good as free. For security, now pay attention. For security, the problem we they get for this US now gun violence. In fact, this year, 2024 already, they don't shoot people. Gun violence now the biggest problem we get here for the US. But for the UK, you know if you see anything like gun violence, you know really they as rampant as it did for US. For the US here, almost everybody get gun for hand. Everybody they on guard. Everybody holding gun for hand. Everybody get gun for house. Some people they drive, they carry their own. Some people they walk out, they hold their own. But for UK, you know go see much gun violence like that. A lot of people for the UK now knife they use. They get most stabbing crime for UK. It's not that bad for UK, but for US everybody they on guard because all man hold gun for hand. So you need to be very careful. In fact, if you go shopping, if they go place where they crowded, people they always they observe, make them they sure say, because anybody if you wake up one day carry gun, you say maybe they depressed or maybe something they person, it just come for where people they shop, begin to shoot everybody. Now the problem where we get here for the US. For social life, US they ball for social life past UK. So if you be like say you they work too hard, maybe for US. A lot of Americans once they don't work, they go use their small work, take vacation, go relax. You go see them once they go work in the morning, tired, they go relax for bar in the evening. Social life here, they very, very high past the UK. People here they more relaxed when they walk past the UK because some of them they tell you say they don't tire, say they won't go vacation, or they don't tire, they won't go this place, they don't tire, they won't go this place. So the social life for America they better than the social life for UK. For the tax part, both countries they very high when it comes to tax. In terms of raising family, it better say you raise your family for UK than say you raise your family for US. For US here, my brother, even people even Nigerians or Africans where they raise their children for here for US, they fear their mind they cut because your pikin fit misbehave at any time. You feel not sharp for your beginning, go call police for you say they sharp for them. In fact, recently one Nigerian girl, I don't know what her mama, she won't come out, the mama tell her say she no come out. She called police for the mama. They begin settle and like case. So if you want raise your family, the UK is a better place to raise your family. Culturally speaking, the UK will train more better children than the US, even though parenting differ from family to family, and the way they say they handle your pikin, no be say another person say they handle the pikin. But culturally, if you want train pikin for UK or for US, the UK is better. So these are some of the differences between these two countries.
I've just found out that American people not only change their bed sheets, but they wash them as well. I found this out in a newspaper article. It said, how often are you supposed to wash your bed sheets? And I was like, what? Like, American people wash their bed sheets? Anyway, I read it, and some people are actually washing their bed sheets, like, every week, which I find quite excessive, because in the UK, what we do, we just wait until our bed sheets get holes and stuff, and then we throw them in the bin and buy new ones. So it just baffles me that people are going to this much effort with their bed sheets. Like, where do you get the time, American people, to do this kind of thing, along with all your other, like, things that you do, like work and stuff. I don't even have a job, and I still don't have time to wash my bed sheets. I change them maybe once a year whenever I need to get new ones. I can't be the only one, surely, that finds this quite strange. Once a week? Like, what is going on with you people?
This might be the biggest difference between Americans and Brits. Today I am talking about drinking culture, more specifically, drinking alcohol. A pint at noon in America means you have a problem. A pint at noon in Britain means it's Tuesday. So in America we have bars, and you go to bars to drink. Pretty easy to understand. But in the UK, they have pubs. And I always thought pubs were the same as a bar where you just go, you drink with your friends, and then you go home. But a pub is very different. A pub is essentially where you go to do everything. You'll go to the pub to watch football. You'll take your grandma to the pub. You'll eat a Sunday roast at the pub. You'll take a pub quiz at the pub. You'll go and get pissed at the pub. I've even seen people propose at pubs. When I say everything happens at a British pub, everything happens at a British pub. At home, we don't really have that tertiary space. It's either home or work. There's not really that in-between area where you can go hang out with your friends and socialize on a given day. So I love pub culture. But I'm going to warn you, Americans, if you ever come over to the UK, if they say fancy a pint, this can mean 1 pint, or this can mean 47 pints. A Brit could tell their partner they're going to pop out for a quick one and then show up 11 hours later missing a shoe and having 6 brand new friends. I have noticed, though, that this is probably the biggest difference. And a lot of my friends that I brought over here, especially the ones that like a drink, have absolutely loved the drinking culture in Britain. But if I missed something, drop it down in the comments. And what do you think about these differences? I think it's probably the biggest thing that separates Americans and Brits.
A lot of people ask me, why would you move from the US to the UK? The UK is a bad country, as this person said. Every country has its own issues. Take it to the whiteboard. Here's how I think about it. So the more privilege you have, likely the higher quality of life you're going to have in any country. Let's compare the US to the UK, though, using this graph. So UK is going to be blue. US is red. So let's say you have pretty low privilege and you live in the UK. Your quality of life is going to be lower, maybe we'll say here. Then as you get more privilege, your quality of life will go up. So maybe if you're medium privileged, your quality of life is here. And then if you're super privileged, your quality of life will probably be better. Now, in the US, because we have no social supports, if you're low privileged, your quality of life is really, really low. However, if you have medium privilege in the US, your quality of life is going to likely be lower because of things like violence, still lack of social supports, lack of public transportation, etc. However, if I'm very privileged in the US, this is when you start to see the difference. My quality of life is going to be higher. And I would say it just continues to go up like that. And that's where you get like a whoop. But then if you're in the UK, it probably looks a little bit more even, like that. Personally, I am privilege-wise probably medium to high privileged. And that means I'm seeing a higher quality of life. Also worth noting, there are other factors in my decision that cannot be quantified on that graph. Like, I love to travel, and being here has allowed me to see the world, like, in a way that I couldn't have if I lived in the US. I also like the culture far better here and consider it more progressive. So, especially in London, it's better for me.
I always thought that the cost of living in the UK versus the US are very similar. But then I looked at the numbers and there's actually some surprising differences. So let's start with housing. In the UK, the average house price is around £268,000, but that varies a lot depending on the area and the size of the house. The average rent per month is £1,374. But if you're in London, it's more than double than that. So it's around £2,100 a month. In the US, the average house price is around $415,000 and the average rent is about $1,600. And in New York, the rent is $3,500 a month. So on housing, it's actually pretty similar, but I think both countries have the same problem. Big cities are just unaffordable. Next up is healthcare. In the UK, you can get free healthcare through the NHS, but wait times can be very long for both appointments and emergency care. In the US, there's no free public healthcare. The average family pays around $27,000 a year just on health insurance. Oh yes, and I forgot to mention, in the UK you can get up to 28 weeks sick pay per year. Well, in the US there's no national law for sick pay, so if you fall sick then you're just not gonna get paid. In terms of education, state schools are free in both countries and private schools cost between £15,000 to £40,000 per year in both countries. But the big difference is in university fees. In the UK, tuition is kept at £9,790 per year. In the US, public university fees average around $11,950 per year. But for private universities, it costs around $45,000 on average per year. So the verdict, housing is pretty similar, but in terms of education and healthcare, the UK wins by a long way. But the US has higher earning potential in certain sectors, and I'll get into that in my next video. Make sure to follow so you don't miss it.
Can we talk about the salary difference between the US and the UK? I think this is one of the things that shocked me the most when I moved out here, because the pound is worth so much more than the dollar. Like 70 pounds is like almost dang near $100. However, the salaries are not proportional in the US and the UK. So for example, if you're a new grad in let's say a field related to tech or something in the UK, your starting salary would be somewhere between like 25,000 to, I don't know, 30,000 or 40,000 or something. Whereas in the US, that's actually on the lower end of starting salary. So in the US, starting salary for, let's say, somebody who graduated with a degree in, I don't know, cybersecurity or in information systems, which is something like tech related, that would be 80,000 to like 100,000, and that's just like starting salary. Whereas in the UK, that's on the higher end of the salary, even for like the duration of a career. And that translates to healthcare as well. Here, doctors get paid similarly to how, let's say, teachers get paid in the US. Whereas in the US, doctors get paid like a lot of money, like way more than six figures. And before y'all come at me in the comments, because I know you are, you're going to say, oh, well, we get free healthcare. We get a month off every year, et cetera, which obviously the US for sure should have universal healthcare. I wish we had that. But if you get a really good job in the US, you still have the option to get essentially free healthcare because your job is paying for most of your healthcare. And it's unfortunate that healthcare is tied to your job in the US, but I'm just saying that there is a chance for you to still get free healthcare just through your job. And a lot of jobs are generous with PTO as well. Like you can get unlimited PTO with several companies. So it's not a one size fits all. It's a very nuanced conversation, but to me, I'm just shocked because I'm like, the pound is worth more than the dollar, but the salaries are not adding up. So this is something that I haven't been able to figure out the answer to on like just why that is. And I guess the answer is maybe universal healthcare and the taxes around that, but it's just something that's so interesting to me.